a great, great day because today we're celebrating 15 years together for Mom and Dad. And in addition to that, we're celebrating Dad's 80th birthday. That's a lot of mileage between the two of them, isn't it? Yeah.
What's that? You have time for translation.
Oh. Who's translating?
We are.
So.
Okay, hold on. Are you up? Okay.
I wanted to just remember the other day something a mom said a long time ago. And she said to me, you know, I have stopped planning because I realized that it doesn't matter what you plan in your life, it never turns out the way you planned it.
Okay, stop.
This is going to take a long time, guys.
Daddy, why don't you just say it in Spanish?
Because the people that in English can't understand.
So about 5 months ago, Laura called me and she says, you know, Mom and Dad are having their 50th wedding anniversary. And she says, well, they are planning something. I didn't think anything of it because for us, our idea of long-term planning is, what are you doing next week? So anybody that's dealt with our family understands that the idea of planning is lost in this clan, right? So when I talked to Susan, I said, you know, Mom and Dad are having their anniversary party, and we're doing it in July. She just about had a heart attack. She gave me a list about that long of things that needed to be done, so I started hyperventilating. I told Mom and said, you got to take care of this. So I was laying in bed one night, flipping through channels, and it's about 2 in the morning, and there's not a lot to pick from at 2 in the morning, so I stopped at a movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called Shall We Dance? It's a chick flick. Okay? 2 in the morning, not a lot to pick from. But this is a movie with where Richard Gere plays a lawyer. Remember that one?
Yeah.
He plays a lawyer who is looking for a little bit of spice in his life and decides, of all things, to start taking ballroom dancing lessons. But anyways, when he starts coming home late from these lessons, his wife gets suspicious. And she hires an investigator. And there's a scene in that movie where after the investigator tells her that there's nothing juicy going on, it's just the guy's dancing. So they're having a conversation. This woman played by Susan Sarandon, she's having a conversation with the investigator. And she says, tell me, why do people get married? And the investigator thinks for a little bit and he says, they get married for the passion. They have passion, they found this passion, and they want to keep it alive. And it thinks for a little bit, and she says, man, that's not why people get married. So the guy says, well, why do you think they get married? I know a lot of guys are going, I want to hear this, so pay attention. She says, I think that people get married because they want a witness to their lives. And she says, you know, with everything that is going on around us, with the kids, with the politics, all the activity around us, we tend to get lost. And that's true. When I look at Mom and Dad's life, half of it is spent living it for somebody else, meaning if it's not us, it's our own kids. And so we want somebody to be a witness to our life. And that's true. We're all here as a witness to your life. We're here to say, Mom, Dad, your life is important to us. It was a center of our attention. So this is what it's all about. It's a life that spanned 50 years, probably more. Just about as many countries and continents that we could hit. Apparently Dad couldn't keep a job. He kept kicking us out from country to country. But we had, what a great life they had together. Well, we got to meet new family. We're all here from as far back as Argentina, and Texas, and Chicago. And we have friends that came all the way from Florida, a lot of them from Michigan. We've gone all over. And we had a great opportunity to do that. So today we're celebrating that life, and we're saying thank you, and here's to another 50 more years.
I'm going to start by disagreeing right here. 50 more years.
Too much, huh?
5. Okay, we're something. You know, obviously my brother has gotten my dad's talent for jazz.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is that's going to be left for me, so I'm going to warn you, I'm going to start speaking really fast when I start. I had a ready to drink my to relax, but I don't know how much that did. So yes, I'm going to say 50 years. What? See, my dad is already telling me what to do. Nothing new. I don't know. Should we discuss some medicine too? He does that, trust me. So, 50 years of marriage. I tell you, Robert and I have done how many, honey? 21? I always have to check with him. He's much better at this than I am.
Yeah, 21.
So 21, more or less. And I tell you, I have to imagine that 21 and 50 have a lot of things in common. It must be a blink. I mean, 21 years. They went by and I don't know where. It seems like it's a roller coasters of things to do and places to be and checklists to take care of. But you meet the person you think is it for you, and you fall in love, and you make plans, and the wedding comes, and 50 years ago, exactly today, it was not a day like today, because today it was beautiful and sunny. The stories I hear say it was pouring rain, to the point that the streets were flooded, there was no sidewalks. And the car had to pull to the steps of the church so the bride could come up. Stressful getting dressed in mom's house or Bocha's house, where I hear that there was a confusion with the pants, and the groom got my, what mom's uncle's pants, who was much longer, so my uncle put his pants and they were up to here, and my dad put his pants and they're rolling down and they're saying, what's going on here? But that sounds just like my family, doesn't it? But then you make plans, and like Daniel says, plans never, and we're full proof that plans never work. I should be in Argentina right now, because I was never going to come to the States. Right. So when you get married, you marry the person. We're different 20 years ago, and I'm sure they were different 50 years ago. And you have to learn how to grow together. We change. We have different interests. Hopefully those interests will merge. And the result is a happy family. It takes time, it takes work, and we know that there's tons of ups and downs. And if I tell Diego and Laura, guys, remember driving, directions, maps? I tell you, I think that right now, when people get married, they have the secret to happiness. And I'm going to share that with you. It's called GPS. It is in the nature of people that it's a gender thing. Men always know where they have to go. They never want to ask questions. Women always want to ask, but they're stuck with a map. And if you're with, like my mother, that you always, if you think it's east, it's really west. And if you think it's north, it's really south. So imagine yourself, oh yeah, anything is possible. So Dad drives, and at the last minute he says, where should I turn? Right, left, straight. Oh, that can happen and we can be here 50 years, actually, no, what would be 20 years later? See? No, because we're not that old. Everything is possible with work and with time and with patience and
Love.
and with love. Oh, I'm talking about my parents, like Sophia says. Ew. So I'm going to say kudos to you. I hope that we learn good lessons from you and that we can do the same thing.
Yes.
But not 50 more years, please.
One time when being the third comes in handy is that I can be brief. You see, I'm a little bit better in the back of house things planning than talking in front of everybody. Although actually, if you were,
And you know, I have to say something and interrupt her.
Oh, wow.
I am the oldest, so I have that privilege. I'm not the oldest, I'm the youngest. I got confused.
Okay.
The three of us worked to put this together, but I have to say that this is all louder. And we have to say, thank you. All this has been possible. I'm sure I had all kinds of reasons and very valid excuses, but thank you.
so what I was thinking about is that if you actually were my design project, I would actually talk you your ear off to convince you not to change my ideas, you know, but that aside. Actually, how Silvia Diego alluded to with our trips, most of our adventures actually were led by our nose. And actually a good trait, very significant in our family, that actually following your nose in search of food. And that has gotten you a lot of adventures, a lot of great places, particularly the one they alluded one where somehow the map ended out at the side of the road somewhere, but we still found one of the best restaurants. And part of that same thing was our adventures of all the places that you know all we got to live in. But one thing that I've always wondered about, and you'd think, I mean, I was not the most outgoing person when I was young, so you'd think that moving to a new place, trying a new event, you know, a new environment, I would have been panicked and freaked out. But I never remembered when Mom and Dad told us, you've got to pick up your life. You've got to change everything you know. You've got to move to a new country, make new friends. I have absolutely no recollection of that. I have no recollection of being sad, being upset. All I remember was enthusiasm, excitement, all this thrill for this new adventure. I have no idea how they did that, what they said to us. The same way, I don't remember them ever saying, you have to study, you have to go to college, you have to go to grad school, you have to get good grades, you should have a career. I don't know how they said that, but all three of us ended up quite well.
You must have been the good child.
But I guess what I'm getting at is all those, for the last 50 years, it's all those intangibles, all those unsaids, all those things that allowed us to become who we are. And to that, I say thank you.
So now this is the time to get a toast. I don't mean the kind that you get out of a toaster. So if
He
we
has
could
the
all raise
same
our
sense of
glasses.
humor than my dad.
Yeah, I know, I heard that. We could all raise our glasses. Mom, Dad, here's to you. Congratulations on 50 years. Thank you for being such great role models and setting examples for us. And thank you for your happiness. And we wish you many, many more. Congratulations.
It's happening.